All right, welcome everyone to the fifth week of Team Wars,
Hello, everyone.
and this is PonchoMango from which team are you in?
Toronto Erratic Raptors.
Toronto Erratic Raptors, who has graciously joined me to cast this week. So first things first, who are you and what is your team, or why is your team?
Um, I'm a penguin wearing a sombrero, and then I'm a captain and a manager, and then I'm playing with Mr. Mana, Zabiel, Squee9, Mango Senior, and Noun Ferber. Sorry.
So Sapio won the last great tournament or the Grandmaster Ribbon, so must be nice to have him on the board. Also, very loud caster of this stream at sometimes. But you also do the tournament organizing side of things, or just the standings?
Well, I try to help out as much as I can, basically.
Okay.
But for Team Wars so far, I've pretty much just been answering questions and doing the standings.
Okay. Uh, so how has your Team Wars experience otherwise been?
It's super fun as usual. It's really fun to play with different people and get like yell at people and getting yelled at. Just just so you can rope your turn and miss completely. That's always the most fun in Duelyst you can have, in my opinion. So I always love when Team Wars or a team tournament comes back, and so I can participate with different people and have fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the best part of Team Wars, just getting yelled at.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll try not to breathe so much. Uh, that aside, this isn't your first Team Wars, is it? So you've been doing
No,
this for a while.
it's my second one. Like there was a Team Wars last year, basically around this time. It started a bit earlier, I think. But yeah, I participated in that one too, and this is my second one.
And how did you wind up playing Duelist?
I was watching Mega Mogwai play Pokemon, and then he started playing Duelist, but I was like very much so into Pokemon. And so I played that for quite a while. And then my brother Mango Senior, which is on my Duelist team, he finally started playing while he was at uni, and he said, man, you should definitely start playing that. It's really fun, and there's no like RNG type or less RNG type things than in Pokemon where you can miss your attacks and stuff. So started
Yeah.
playing, loved it, and yeah, then I after a year and a half or so started I saw a tournament and I just signed up, and then I started doing tournaments and being active on Discord and stuff. So
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
it's pretty cool.
Your brother is also in the tournament, Team Wars.
Yeah, he's Mango Senior.
In your team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that must be interesting.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But he lives in Japan and I live in Canada, so it's not easy to coordinate stuff, but it's fun.
Uh, so how about these bans of this tournament? How did you have any input in those?
I did a bit. Basically, what my opinion was, and what I think Icy's opinion was he wanted to at least nerf all of the best archetypes in the game. And so we hit Fault, we hit Titan, we hit Wanderer, we hit Heals Around, and we hit Eggs, the five main archetypes in my opinion. And then there's been a few bans um before this season of Team Wars. Like there was some in the MDL two basically, and in World Cup. So we went on about that too, and we had banned Ray the first time and Fault the second time, and Fault felt like the better ban just to get it out of the way. Then we had banned Flash plus Wanderer, but we still had like Wanderer everywhere, and I don't know. I feel like Wanderer out is just more opens up more decks possibilities, and then trying to hit Titan and nerf Titan without banning Titan itself is nearly impossible. So we had to ban Titan itself, and yeah. And then for the two other archetypes, I suggested that banning Lavalance again from eggs just destroyed eggs completely. So I suggested Zoetic Charm instead. See how that would fare. And so, yeah. And then Sunrise Cleric was banned once again, as it was banned last time.
Well, I think the Sunrise Cleric is and Zodiac Charm are the two, the you know cards that maybe people have more opinions, like Stoic saying that Cleric ban is a mistake and Vitriol is better. But
Yeah, for sure. Possibly.
I totally agree with the Fault and the Wanderer and the Titan bans. Like otherwise, people would be just either banning those every week or just playing them.
And how do you feel about the Zoetic Charm ban? Because the idea was really to try and nerf eggs rather than destroy them like we felt that they were destroyed with Lava Lance ban.
Well, I haven't, to be honestly, seen any X list in this tournament thus far.
All right.
So
I feel like I've seen some, but they haven't really performed very well or well at all. So it's
yeah,
it's surprising to me.
I mean, Magmar has been like, well, we can nicely segue into the actual ban statistics.
Yeah. Magmar has a lot of bans every week. They're like the main faction actually after neutrals. They're the main faction that get banned. Banning either Mecantor, we can see, or Flash or Lavalance, which hit eggs. So even if you do have access to Lavalance sometimes, but you don't have Zoetic and then you don't have Mecantor, then the egg archetype isn't as relevant, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Magmar has also been the faction that has been losing the most, I think, in this tournament thus far, which has been pretty surprising considering how many bans they're getting. But
Yeah, it either means the bans are effective and then Magmar is weakened, or it means that people are overestimating Magmar and banning it for no reason. But
yeah,
I'm leaning on the fact that it's the bans are really effective, and banning Plasma Storm really allows you to play, you know, wider and do more stuff, and you just know you won't get punished. So you can really exploit that. Same as banning Mecantor, you can, you know, play around Mecantor and therefore be way more aggressive than you could if you had to play around it.
yeah. Do you have you compiled these stats? So do you have? Did you see any other weird things or things you've picked up on, or do you?
Uh,
Are
Nothing weird. Nothing weird. I think we're starting to see the bands shape up, and I don't know if these stats will make people change their bands once, because they've only been up since last week. So I don't know if this will affect some of the team's bands, seeing, oh wow, juxtaposition is really banned that often, then whatever. Um, but I think there's a few bands that are going to be there constantly still throughout the remainder of the season, like Jux, Mecantor, Sanswirl, and Golems are for sure going to be
absolutely?
banned
Yeah,
quite often.
yeah. I'm gonna imagine Color Metallurgist and Celebrant are gonna be the two bands everybody is gonna go for the columns. Uh,
Yeah, I feel like hitting Golem Emergist and Celebrant is more effective than banning Dreamshaper. We've seen Dreamshaper banned 3 times, but I feel like without those golems, you can't really have an effective Dreamshaper setup. So
yeah. I mean, I personally feel that if you want to ban against Vetruvian, you want to ban Dream Shaper or like the Golems because that's the main deck of like most of the Vetruvian lists. So I don't personally see the need to ban Reader 12 times, but I might be slightly biased.
okay, so you think that banning just the golems should suffice to
Yes,
banning Vitruvian, in your opinion? Ah, that's interesting.
because sure they have the removal, but like the Vetruvian list don't have the oomph like the other factions to actually do that well, like in most cases. I think the different lists that are coming out, I think, have the most potential to be like the neck breaking in this kind of format.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, there's also the team standings on the bottom left, and Rock and Rocks is leading with the massive 90%, 90.91% game win percentage.
Way above, way above everyone else.
Absolutely. And at the bottom of the pack is unfortunately Lorem Ipsum with the 0-4 score thus far, but still have some chances to climb up.
Yeah, hey, I mean it's also a new team, right? A lot of new players in that team. So
A lot of new players and also pretty strong players with the Icicle and those other old faces, and then new faces with Steph Downhart and so on forth. So also kind of surprising to see Juvi's Disciples so low, but maybe they are gonna pick up the steam now that the format games are over.
yeah, they've for the big names they have in their team, they've not been that successful. But they have to be still a force to reckon with, and
Yeah.
I would not underestimate them at all.
And on the middle we have the self-employed mercenaries and the Gebroeders anchors and those middle of the pack trying to pick up the pace.
Yeah, yeah, trying to find their spot in the top four.
Yeah, I mean they're still in the game, like for sure with those.
Oh, yeah, it's still early.
Yeah, and then your team is on the third place. So how are you feeling about that?
Pretty good actually. I didn't think we'd be doing that well there, but I mean it's still early and we had our bye week already, so we're only 3-1. Um, but it feels good to have won against like Juvi's Disciples, a big team, and then stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, I think we are ready to head off to the first game or the first match of this series, which is gonna be the Monolith Zoo versus Lorem Ipsum. So it's gonna be, as a disclaimer, I'm playing from Monolith Zoo here. So it's gonna be the bottom two teams facing off against each other. Is there how do you determine the matchups? Do you know? Is it random?
Um, I'm not sure, but everyone plays against everyone. It's a round robin, so everyone will face everyone during the season, and the schedule is already completely out. If you check in match reporting, you can check the later weeks. But for the order of it, I think it was random. I'm not sure, or it depended on like which team registered first. I think.
Yeah, makes sense. And Lorem Ipsum has a really nice banner. I have to agree. I
Yeah, I
think
have
like
to agree as well.
I think like the well, if you take it this way, like the teams on the top four have a banner, like 100%, and the teams on the bottom four don't have a banner, like 80%. So I think if you have a banner, you increase your chances to be at the top four.
Uh, Now, how long has Lorem Ipsum had their banner for?
They were the first team to have a banner.
Oh, okay.
and it has nothing to do with the fact that they're at the bottom 8. But Monolith 2, we banned Macantor 4 Beast, Juxtaposition, Cryptographer, Superior Mirage, and Lorem Ipsum banned Celebrant, All Beast, Macantor, and Sensor Reader. Do you see anything?
Superior Mirage is a really fun ban, but it's really unfortunate that they banned Mecantor for you, so you can try to use it as much as you can, because I mean Superior Mirage does do a lot of stuff, but it mainly hits Magmar and Mecantor specifically. And otherwise, they're all solid bans. We've seen Crypto a few times, and that hits quite a lot of archetypes across the board. Hits Eggs, hits Fae, it hits Lilith as a whole, it hits Zorzul, and I'm sure I'm missing some. So it hits 8 Gates, Riva, so quite a solid ban. And well, Jux, Mecantor, Reader, Celebrant, and Owl we've seen in the top 5, 6 or so from the ban list, so they're all solid.
Yeah. But the first game of the series then is gonna be You Please versus facing of 0_OU. So You Please is representing the Monolith Zoo on the left, and 0_ is representing the Lorem Ipsum on the right.
What kind of Vanar is this?
I think it's Acrofae.
Acrofae, oh, interesting. Usually Zoran has the edge when it comes to the matchup between Agrofae and Zoran, so.
Yeah, the Ziran has the healing to survive the slow creeping death from Fae.
Yeah, exactly.
But this might be a more aggressive variant of Ziran, so it's gonna be interesting to see how to do fare. How do you feel about Vanar as a faction, like in this tournament?
I have a lot of fun with Vanar. It's definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite faction to deck build around, because I feel like they've got still like a lot of stuff that people haven't explored.
Mm.
And in terms of strength, I feel like they're not very good, but they can hold their own if I mean, yeah, they're not great, but they're not terrible either.
Mm. I mean, they can certainly pick up wins if they get the edge on you. Burn Fae is a fun archetype which requires serious skill by Stoic Rooster.
Vanar did very well this week. They went 11-5, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, there's the very nice response to the Flame Blood with the Blood Deer Alchemist into Sojourner.
Yeah. Blocking off the tile too. This seems like a commanding lead for Faye so far.
0_ doesn't really seem to have much going on with the hand right now.
They do have a Holy Immolation to come back in the game after 2 turns, but this turn seems rough for sure. I feel like they could have replaced the Lucian Beam earlier, unless, I mean, they could try to play it this turn, but it doesn't really clear much. You know, the Sojourner at 5 HP really removes that possibility.
Yeah. The Sojourner is a really hard card to get rid of right now, which is very unfortunate. So the Trinity Oath is probably gonna get replaced.
They do have 4 cards at hand, which is kind of scary to get rid of the Trinity Oath, I feel.
But I think you also want to have more active card on the table than Ace or Herald. Well, it looks
Well, I
like
think I would replace the Illusion Beam, to be honest.
they're gonna.
But maybe they're going to use it on face. Interesting.
Yeah,
It's not terrible. They do have the Trinity Oath in hand to replenish the hand, so.
but this kind of leaves them in an awkward spot now with the fact they have to play Trinity Oath next turn.
I don't feel like they necessarily have to play it next turn. They could play Immolation if they get a chance, or they could play just a Tempest, maybe. Depending on the board state.
They position the Ace or Herald so far up, so it's kind of hard to get a good emo out.
It is, but I feel like this Tempest could be really good here.
I know for a fact you
And,
has a lot of 2 health minions.
yeah.
But that's once again a very nice clean on the board here from you, please.
Yeah, they're gonna sack the Blood Tier and do the Herald, which is good for them because of the Tempest incoming. I'm pretty sure we are still going to see this. It seems, unless they want to Oath and back off so they can Tempest next turn. I don't know.
Looks like they're contemplating replacing the Holy Immolation here.
Yeah, I think I would keep it, but it's a great catch-up card, especially if if the opponent is, bring them into a corner, then all their minions are going to be in the same corner. So Immolation could be very good.
Yums Plums, hello, welcome. Anyone care to tell me how these tournaments work? But well, you're probably the best person to answer that question. How does this tournament work?
Is doing a good job explaining it in the chat. He's forgetting the part where when you play together, you have to hop on to a voice chat together as the team and yell at your teammates. That's the most important part.
That's true.
All right, so we see Zero continuing to go face and just playing the Trinity Oath. And we see Sanctify, which is interesting.
There's the... what's her name again? I'm sorry.
Sunriser?
Yes. That might be very helpful on the following turns.
Yeah, in 2 turns or so.
Yeah.
While they get their mana up so that they can play it alongside an Azure Herald and stuff.
Sanford's Lancer would have been pretty nice a few turns back, but might see action next turn. Depending.
Stoic is saying that Sanctify is pretty cool with Scorn, and it is. It brings it back to a 5/6 after your turn, which is interesting.
I've actually never seen that interaction. But yeah, that sounds super terrifying. 5/6 after hitting your 4 seems like Yums Bumps, if you have any interest, there's a Discord channel I can probably link to you somehow on the chat, so I'm just gonna throw you the invite if you are interested in these tournaments.
See, you're doing a nice job of playing around Sunriser and stuff by playing around by surrounding Zaran. But I think we're gonna see a Tempest, and then the only issue for Zaran is going to be their health total.
Yeah. There's the Tempest into healing the minion to get the...
Yeah, they're going for the aggressive route because they're not using the Azure Herald this turn, and they're going to be down to 8 HP, but 8 HP should be enough at 6 mana, I feel. As long as you doesn't have double mesmerize into Glacial Fissure.
There's the second Snowpiercer here.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty devastating.
Yeah.
And
Chromatic Cold.
and a chromatic cold for lethal.
But yeah, as Stoic said, the hitting there is pretty bold against Faye.
Yeah, if they hadn't hit, they would have lost their Sunforge Lancer possibly, but they would have had 2 more HP because they punched the. They took the damage from Faye twice.
Yeah. But that was the first game of that set, and also just a moment here. You can find the ban list for this format in the Discord channel in one of the seats. And with that, I think we're ready to head off to the next game. It's gonna be Steph Downhard from the Lorem Ipsum trying to clean up You Please on the right side. So it's gonna be Vanar against Vanar action. And we already see it's a far different deck than You Please's deck with the EMPs and Frostburn and Lightbenders.
Yeah, this is definitely not aggro Faye.
And there's the Proto Sensor with the airdrop into to block off the Minotaur.
Yep. This hand is kind of awkward though. They don't really have a great turn 2 play so far.
No. But maybe they get just do the aspect of the bear onto the Proto Sensor next turn. I have to say this: the turn 1 airdrop is always so surprising and hard to play around because like you never have that happen to you. Like 99.99% of the time you're playing this game, you're never gonna get that somebody airdropping in front of you.
Now I love You Please play here and punching the building to assert dominance, saying I'm the boss. And a nice clean answer by Steph to remove this Sojourner and keep somewhat of a board with two small minions.
Yeah. Still, that's a 4-mana minion to get rid of a 4-mana spell and a minion to get rid of the Sojourner.
Yeah, but it didn't lose guard advantage at all, so it's not terrible. It's a 4-mana spell that draws a minion, so.
Here we see the replicants replicating onto the board.
And this play by You Please doesn't generate that much tempo either, because Faye can easily clear one off, or Steph can easily clear one off, and then you only have one.
Yep. We also see the Meltwater Moose here on Steph's hand.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be played here, but we'll see.
So do you play Vanar for your team?
We change factions every week.
Oh, you change factions. That's allowed. Wow.
Well, of course it's allowed. Why wouldn't it be? We've got like pretty experienced players across the board, um, which have access to many cards. So it's fun to just I'm the captain, so I randomize the faction that everyone gets for the week, and then we play that. So adds a lot of variety to it. So
Well, I'm not sure if that adds a variety or if it's just being cruel.
how's it being cruel?
Oh, this week you are playing Abyssiniate. This week you're playing Vanar. Good luck.
Well, everyone's on board with it.
Yeah.
If they weren't, then we wouldn't do it. And actually, Squee Nine the first week was like, I'd rather play Linar, so he just switched with Mr. Mana, who was playing Linar, who had Linar.
I'm just kidding, of course.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a cool idea. So anyway, do you also like make everyone make their deck lists, or do you just?
Yeah. If they can provide one, then they obviously can bring their own list. But sometimes they just don't show up for the week and they don't build one, so I build one for them.
Stoic Rooster says that he plays the Dictator in his team, and I can say that that's probably very true from personal experience.
I'm wondering if we're gonna see a Lightbender here or a Dancing Blades. Like the Lightbender would be nice to dispel the Meltwater Moose, but I don't feel like the Meltwater Moose does that much this turn anyways. Like I mean, it does 6 damage to use face, which is a lot. I don't know if that's the route we want to take, but I think it is. And then I guess they're going to Blood Tier the Premise Fist.
Yeah, I gotta say that as much as I like to go face, I think just getting rid of the Heart Sister there would be probably more beneficial on the longer term plan. Or the Primus
I don't
Fist.
know. I feel like 6 damage phase goes a long way. It makes phase capability to be aggressive like
True.
lesser.
True.
And then the Heart Sister does trade well into the Lightbender, but other than that, it's not threatening your face.
My idea is more that you get the 4/6 body on the board, and you also get the opening gambit out. So I think the getting the 6 to the face with the light banner kind of risks you to losing the boards to Hellstone, for example, and then you're back to square one again. But here we see the gravity walls coming out, stalling the game. Shame about the Lightbender, would have been pretty useful this turn.
Yeah, I mean the EMP is coming next turn, which is probably gonna help.
Well, if you survive to the next turn.
Well, you can body block Faye and heal up a bit, so I feel like your chances of surviving are pretty good.
It looks like they're... But if you play Ace or Herald and the Moose there, do you hit the Flame Blood?
You can't hit the Flame Blood.
Oh right, hit the Gravity Walls, right. Provoke is an effect in this game.
You do hit a wall, but I don't think you hit that one. Yeah, you don't hit the wall in front of you. I mean, to be fair, I think I wouldn't hit a wall. It prevents less things from being able to surround you. And next turn, even though you're basically saying here that you are going to play something, you're either going to play Frostburn or EMP and get rid of them either way. So it just prevents more stuff from being able to surround you this turn.
And we have seen the Spelljammer coming out in the Warbird.
Yeah. Also, I think they should have played the Azure Herald where they put the Meltwater Moose for this reason exactly. If they had Hellstone Prison, so they wouldn't have been able to. If they wanted to Hellstone the Moose, they couldn't. They still couldn't hit your face.
Mm. The EMP is coming down. But I think that may have been a mistake there. Positioning.
I mean, Faye can run away from the Spelljammer,
True.
which I think is what they were going for.
Mm. Yeah, for sure that was a better position here. But still a very tricky position to be in, because Duelyst is playing the cryptographers and other
Yeah,
bees.
they would need crypto mentor though, or double crypto.
Mm.
Because or they would need a third Hellstone Prison.
Mm.
The artifact is Snowpiercer's 1 damage off.
And there's the Concealing Shroud.
Against a deck full of the spell though, so.
But a lot of this spell has already been played, I think, like 2 Lightbenders or...
I think just 1 Lightbender and 1 EMP. I'm pretty sure Steph plays 3 EMPs, 3 Lightbenders, and 2 or 3 Chromatic Golds, so.
Yeah, for sure. So I just need to find an EMP.
Yeah, EMP is needed with all these provokers now.
Unfortunately, that's not it. That Frostburn doesn't really feel good right now.
Well, you can still play Azure Hell alongside it and try to survive longer. You can probably double body block with
Yep.
EMP and Azure Herald and face.
Duelyst is just deciding to run away and stack on those warbirds. The assault of the birds will not be denied. But it doesn't really seem that Steph Downhart actually has a lot to answer this right now, even with the EMP.
Ooh.
Now that the second shroud came down.
Wow. Well, I guess they need to aspect of the bear the Bloodbound Mentor and hope they don't have another when they're a cryptographer.
It's still a 2-turn clock, so you need to catch him in 2 turns.
Yeah, you're going to need something more here, like Hearth Sister next turn maybe, to connect your EM. You could probably play Bloodbound Mentor and BBS here though, so that you have two BBS available next turn.
Or potentially 3.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Seems like they're gonna play it very aggressively though.
It's I'm not even sure what I would like to do here. It's interesting. They're playing right into Hydro Garden though.
What? Is that a new card? Yeah, it looks like they unfortunately robbed that turn, so they floated the 1 mana.
Yeah, they should have BBS so that they would have had it in hand and had a possibility to have 2 or 3 instead of just 2.
Mm.
They would have lethal on board if they had BBS last turn. Oh,
Yeah, that's
they do have it with aspect of the bear, but they would have had it on board if they had BBS the last turn.
mm,
But we see Steph pulling it off with the nice +1 damage from the aspect of the bear.
that was pretty close game after all.
Yeah, very close game.
Yeah.
1 HP and exact lethal.
Well, that was the second game of the Monolith Zoo, and now the final game. Just a moment. We're seeing Steph Downhard facing off Nif from Monolith Zoo with all the swag on his side. Nif seems to be playing hardcore Bond. I also like the fact that he puts the Rust Crawlers into his decks.
Yeah, a nice tech for something.
Snow Bruises.
Not sure what they're trying to tech against with thrust crawlers there, but
We had a reason. I'm not sure what the reason was, but we had a reason.
all right. Because I guess like in terms of heavy artifact decks, I feel like there's not much to fear. Maybe Saj, but that's pretty uncommon. So.
The ever seen did actually a Sarge game. The first uh, match of this set was Geo versus me, and Geo was playing Sarge, and he won. But he was not playing artifacts, which was completely throwing me off. But he unfortunately lost to you, please, afterwards.
Yeah, this is not a great cryogenesis. The last one was decent because you did have a bit of a board, but this one you're giving initiative to your opponent, which feels bad.
Mm. But it's also very brave to leave the Acer of Lion alive on the board. And here we see the Aegis Barrier coming out.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. not being able to play it on the Iron Cliff afterwards, which
But that also gonna limits Step Downhard's possibilities to actually answer that provoke right now.
yeah, for sure. The immolation top deck here is really going to make that play beneficial.
Mm. Let's even just cast the bond on the Guardian there. Just like assert dominance. And there's the Meltwater Moost coming down.
Oh.
Interesting to see the Ironcliff getting
Yeah,
replaced.
I thought they were gonna replace the Rust Crawler, but I guess they want to keep it for an immolation play.
It looks like that's gonna be the play here.
They want to play it this turn into Warbird.
And just going face.
Yeah. Okay. They do have quite a bit of damage coming next turn too with the Bond and Roar, but I don't feel like it's going to be enough, right? Although playing into Warbird this turn is interesting because it allows, if the board state stays like this and they don't play something underneath Archeon, it allows both Rustcrawler and Archeon to hit Faye next turn.
I mean, the Lightbender is probably the only nice option out of this right now.
Yeah, for sure. The Lightbender would definitely help Steph gain some breathing room.
Otherwise, you cannot hit with the moose here. Aspect of the bear.
That's really unfortunate for them that they have to do that in order to try to survive.
The army of rust crawlers is gaining on them. Oh, and what a top deck from the Ironcliff from the rust crawler replace.
You saw Freeblade earlier. I don't know if you want to go for the Roar on your Rustcrawler to trade it into the Sentinel.
Well, you could also just play the Ironcliff above the Freeblade, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But then it becomes a 3/5, right? If I was thinking maybe they wanted to roar their Rustcrawler, their 2/1 Rustcrawler to trade into it.
Or they can just play the clean up the Freeblade.
They can't though. They used Aegis Barrier and now they don't have the mana
Alright, yeah.
to do it. So they're just gonna go face, which is fine.
Well, it's probably not gonna be the case that Steph is gonna be able to bring Nith down here.
No, you can't deal with that. And then you see the live stream Bond to assure lethal next turn, probably.
Yeah. It just looks like Steph never quite gained the tempo she wanted this game. Especially with the cryogenesis on those early turns. There's the Bloodbound Mentor and Pro Sensor and just putting everything down on the table.
Yeah, and praying they don't have Bond.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
But
that's
they
not the
do.
case.
Yep.
Still kind of gives me the creeps that the Lionor Bond is still alive after all these years. But
I mean, as a Vitruvian player, you shouldn't be too worried about it.
well, I have experiences. But yeah,
Before
that
the
was
days of Blood of Air and Sense Rule Reader.
true. When there was only Siphon Energy. And you could only cast it on the minions nearby you. That wasn't a great time. But yeah, so that was the first match, and we are ready to head off to the next one, which is gonna be Juvi's Disciples versus. Do you wanna
Ooh.
give that one a try?
SS. Did I do it right?
I think that's pretty close.
Okay.
But moving on to the bands, we have Juvi's Disciples banning the Celebrant, Macantor, Mistdragon, Seal, Battle Panto, and the SS team has banned Juxtaposition, Trinity Oath, Blood of Air, and Plasma Storm.
I don't know what these gifts are really meant to represent, as Trinity Oath is an exploding person or something, but they're pretty cool.
Well, it's supposed to
The
represent the inner fire of Siran as it just hammers your opponents to nuclear waste.
All right.
But yeah, you were saying.
It's the first Battle Bando ban we see all season, which is really interesting because it was banned in the World Cup tournament we just had, and it did a number, but no one had touched it yet in Timor. So
Which is kind of interesting because Shanghai is actually winning a lot this tournament.
yeah, they are. Even with people banning juxtaposition like the most.
Yeah. Also, I've also been kind of like. Well, we've had some discussions about like Shanghai, like how do you actually ban against them because they have so many flexible cards they can just pull out and still play even if you try to target them specifically.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like juxtaposition hits tons and tons of decks. It leaves like four viable archetypes wide open, in my opinion.
Mm.
But then, if once you have Jux ban the previous week, like GVD had this week, then you have to find different resources to try to nerf Songhai.
Mm.
And we see them banning both Miss Dragon Seal and Battle Panda, so targeting two cards off of Songhai to try to reduce their power.
Mm. Alright, so I think we're ready to head off to the first game of this series. So this is Coswith versus Icy Fire, and Coswith is playing for the SS team and Icy Fire is playing for the Jewish Disciples. And we are seeing Cypher on the right side with Falsius, of all things. Great and considered.
It's rare that we see Falsius in Sifron.
Yeah. I really like the fact that people are bringing the Falsius back once in a while because I think the card is still pretty good.
Yeah, I wish it had better stats. I wish it was 4 mana, but with slightly better stats, like a 3/4 or a 4/5 if you or a 4/4, but
Yeah, I
it's
understand.
it's it's still
I,
pretty decent, especially with Saj.
yeah, I understand why they get the 3-3 stats because it was so over dominating in the before the nerf.
Yeah,
But I think the bigger problem with the card is that it's a 4-mana card, and 4 mana is really difficult for Vetruvian right now. It's just a empty mana curve slot for a Vetruvian.
yeah. Well, if it had better stats, then it would be a great card to play on 4 mana.
Mm. But it has to be like super great for most of the time to be worth it to play 4 mana cards in Vetruvian. From my experience. But on the left side we see
The classic turn one scroll bandit. But in the case of SS, this feels fine because they banned juxtapositions, so their Golem Metallurgist here is going to be safe.
and it's probably gonna also stick on the board because it's unlikely that Icy Fire is gonna, unless they have a Phoenix Fire on hand, they're gonna be bursting it down.
Mm.
Alpist Sage.
Mm.
So it looks like it's just gonna be Arcanist Shidai.
Ooh, and Assassination Protocol. Mana
Mana
Vortex
Vortex.
Kutatsu. Wow.
That's a lot of
Wow.
effort.
That's a lot of effort, but it is a 4/6 and a 1/9. Still pretty scary.
Especially since they both have a pretty scary effect on the board right now.
Yeah.
And Cosfit doesn't actually have any clean answer to this board right now. Stoic Rooster is saying that Arcanist Shidai be like, I am the strongest deck in the meta. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's definitely one of the best, if not the best, with the when you consider only the base bands, Titan, Cleric, Zoetic, Wanderer, and Vault. I feel like yeah, Arcanist Shadai is definitely up there, top 2 or 3, if not the best.
So you think the future tournaments, the Songhai will be getting more attention from the ban list?
Maybe Owlbeast will be permanently banned. We'll have to see. I feel like it's not too devastating in the other factions, in mainly Abyssia and Vanar. So you could probably just nerf it, ban it in Songhai like we did in World Cup, and get away with it.
Mm.
But I think that with the success we're seeing Songhai have so far, that they that people should consider batting more Songhai cards.
But isn't Songhai already like one of the most banned factions?
Well, I mean, not in the. I'm talking about the organizers, not the players.
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah. Here we see Icy Fire and his team
And
taking the.
yeah,
Yep.
if Songhai is one of the most banned factions by the players, that may be an indicative that there is a lack of Songhai bans to begin with. So
Stoic Rooster is offering to make you best ban lists. Ban all the sand cards, like the Sand Burrower.
and Sand Trap.
Sand Trap is actually a good card, not enough people are playing it. Myself included.
I mean, I feel like if you're gonna play Sand Trap, you play Kinematic Projection and do a lot better with that. But
well,
because you can play around the blast if they can't move.
true. Unless it's Thunderhorn, in which case you're pretty sad.
Yeah, well, you move away from the road. The Thunderhorn can blast it.
Well, that's the timely pickup from the Lightbender.
Yeah.
Get rid of this Arcanist threat.
A great Lightbender for sure. Really neutralizing Icy's board for at least this turn. There's a 111 Scroll Bandit, which is still kind of scary, but with 0 attack this turn, it's not. It's held down.
Yeah, this is why I think like Zephyrin is kind of like maybe a bit underexplored general, because I think the minus attack does allow a lot of interesting possibilities with the general.
Yeah, so far I felt that Saffron without the Golem package it's really hit harder than the two other generals, and that's why I personally haven't explored him too much. But
But I also think like the deal with Zephyrin is also that like it's not as easy general to play around necessarily, because he has a lot of more like a deck space in his list than like a Sirix or Charge usually have. We see more Arcanists coming down for Icy Fire here.
yeah, this is a really clean turn by Icy. I bet we're gonna see the Sentinel Reader on the Scroll Bandit though, and Saffron going to kill that Chakra Avatar before it gets too big.
Yeah.
And then, oh, the Blood of Air. So he's going to clear 3 things, I guess, this turn.
Not too concerned about the Mana Forcer, which I think kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, with 3 cards in hand and no other minion, the Forger's not going to do too much. It's definitely the least big threat out of the 3 other minions that there were there. The Scroll Bandit and the Chakra.
Yeah. Well, Icy Fire could have the option to just like back away here and try to build up a new board.
Definitely. Depending on the cards he has, though, maybe he just can't do that. But we're gonna see him clear the artifact at least.
Wind Striker or Column Strikes again. Seems like Icy Fire is going for the surround here with the Bandit and Sparrowhawk. It's Coswit has a pretty clean answer to once again. He could play Falsius here into Sojourner if he wanted to. Or just Pot of Hurricane. It looks like the Falsius seems to be the play.
Yeah, False Vision into Sojourner is pretty good. You lock down the Mana Forger into place, and then the Scroll Bandit can't backstab anything.
Looks like they're contemplating
Unless they want to sacrifice their Mana Forger into the Falsius, but that does not seem tremendous just to get a backstab. But yeah, I would clear the Sparrowhawk, and I would place Sojourner above the Mana Forger.
I'm gonna clean up the Mana Forger instead. And just play Sojourner in the backline. Probably trying to play around the backstab shenanigans.
Yeah, and like that does allow a backstab if IC really wants to do that, but it like if they have Misdragon Seal, well they do because of the Sparrowhawk, so they could trade attack the Sojourner with both their General and Sparrowhawk just to backstab. That's not a great play. You give Cosvid 2 cards and you don't deal with Falsius either, so.
The Sojourner is a pretty good pick here. Also pretty interesting to see that card in Vetruvian list. Usually still sees like things like Spelljammer and that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very rare card to see in Vetruvian.
You see Old Beast Sage. Unfortunately, Coswit has like 50 million answers to that thing right now. But the board is still pretty threatening.
So they're just going face. And I guess they could Tatsu just to cycle it and,
Pop up the minions.
Yeah.
Well, Coswit can just Dream Shaper here and try to draw something. And still have mana for the Pot of Hair, so that's probably gonna be what's happening.
Yeah, we can see the Blood of Air first, though. You can easily clear the board here with just the Blood of Air. Or a Sandstorm Reader if you want to take that 1 damage. But then they still have an Owl Beast in their hand, so.
It's probably gonna get Blood Bear into the Scroll Bandit here.
Yeah, unless they want to start pushing face damage of their own, but it doesn't seem like they do. They don't need to either, so.
I think my question here is that what's Coswit's plan to win?
They just need to neutralize Icy's board, and usually Arcanist Shaddai doesn't really have much burn, so if they do that, then they're just going to be able to dwindle them down with their golems and stuff, and then we see the Grapnel that's going to be able to close the game out for them.
Stoic Rooster mentions that Sojourner manages to be both underrated and overrated at the same time. I think historical that has always been the case. It's always been a back and forth with the. It used to be Blazehound and Sojourner and into Spelljammer and Sojourner, but Spelljammer ultimately I think is the card nowadays. Isifar is setting up his board once again. And I think that Kindling will be pretty scary.
It definitely is, and both minions being at 5 attack, above 4, not being able to be grapnel, but then this Lightbender is going to neutralize the board.
And there's still room for the reader if it needs to be.
Um,
But probably not gonna be seeing action this game. Lost in the Desert is a pretty interesting and cute pick from Coswit, I think.
yeah,
I've always
definitely.
been a fan of that card.
I liked it. I really liked it when it came out. I thought it was really interesting.
It's like one of the few actual burn cards Vetruvian has. Or punishment cards. Most of the other Vetruvian cards kind of require the enemy to play something before you can actually do something.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, they do have other ones, just not as threatening on their own, like Bone Swarm and Rosha's Curse.
Yeah. Looks like Isify is a bit of a trouble here, I think. It's kind of hard to imagine that he has a very clean answer to this board right now. And tanky face damage is gonna hurt.
Yeah, Cosvid has been having continuous answers to what Icy's been trying to do, so they've been running out of steam slowly.
Well, that's the second Kindling. This is gonna help. I just need to find those spells.
Oh, the draw spell again, which is really good for Icy. And they will manage to clear a bit of the board here.
Still there's 4 damage coming to the face, so
Yeah, but 4 is not enough, and you can expect Saffron to not have that much more damage in their hand to kill you from the spot. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see an EMP come down here just to neutralize IC once again.
yep. Just playing the EMP straight to the face.
You see, this is where you need mass flight in Arcanist, so that you can connect all your minions.
Have you actually played with Mass Flight?
I tried it once in Arcanist, and it was just too much. I mean, without juxtaposition, you could maybe consider it, but even so, it's just expensive. So
I would love to see that card played sometime. I don't think I've ever seen it on ladder or anywhere. Non-Verber, how do you manage to die to a unicorn twice? Are you sure you were playing Duelyst at the time? Icefire managed to find all pissed once again. The endless supply of
Yes.
Arcanists.
So far, it's not going to be enough. Mm, Pretty. Yeah. This is lethal with grapnel.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, they could have played into grapnel to play around the MP connecting, but
Ultimately, it will not matter. That was the first game of this match. So both teams are taking their time to but the next match is gonna be
the first one.
the first one. Yes. It's never the first one. Alright. So this Referral versus Coswit, and both are playing Cypheron. As Referral already replaced Storm King and Monolith Vision, so it seems that he has a bit of a higher end to his curve, potentially.
Yeah, which is probably not going to be that great against Saffron. But
But he's trying to set up the ramp here in the Sworn Avenger. Sworn Avenger was super good in the World Cup. And it keeps
yeah, it's a
popping up.
great card.
Yeah. Still kinda wondering why people aren't playing it more.
I don't know. I feel like people are playing it a good amount.
I have to agree with Stoic. This ship list from Duelyst Disciple is pretty nice. It also reminds me of certain lists I once received.
Yeah, I like it too.
But nothing too exceptional here except the turn 2 stands for reader into that metallurgist to completely deny Coswit's game plan. And we have
The broken replay.
the broker replay.
And that's why you ban Sans World Reader.
Well, that happened.
Yeah, we can try to watch it on Constant Cider, maybe switch games.
Let's see how this works. Right, so we have the same game again from the other side. And there's the 5th Canopic and Mage Throne.
All right, I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I'm gonna predict that River's gonna play Celebrant turn one.
In the reader turn 2.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think the replay will survive?
We'll have to see. Doesn't seem like it.
So far, so good.
Oh, okay, good. I saw a little twitch before he played it. So.
Oh, there's a light benders in Rip's hand. Nice. For Coswit, yes. Oh, I could actually start playing. Yes, start playing the replay. Yes, sorry. I'm not tired. You are tired. My apologies.
Yeah, not a great play for Cosvid here. There's not much he can do.
Mm. Well, he can always Dream Shaper into more cards.
Yeah, I'd try to find something to play, but Second Wish is very nice. Very nice here.
Keeps that Golem Metallurgist alive.
Yeah.
Not sure if you would keep the 5th Canopy here, but the 4-8 body is pretty damn big. So
It protects itself against grapnel, which is really cool, but it does just like play into reader and whatever, Just the 5 mana minion is not necessarily what you want to play on curve against Vitruvian.
Riff once again plays Celebrant into Science First Wish, so also digging for cards. But he has very nicely secured the bottom mana tile for his bigger minions next turn, so...
Very clean answer from Riverath here. Answering the second wish with the second wish, and then the first wish to go on the Celebrant to clear that Dream Shaper as well.
Absolutely.
But we're gonna see a Lightbender here, definitely.
Clean answers after clean answers.
Yep.
So now the big question is what Earth is gonna do next. He could play Swarm King here potentially. And Blistering Scorn into Dream Shaper. So that's a pretty nice turn.
Wow. Yeah, more clean turns.
Cosmit doesn't really have a nice answer to that Scorn right now.
He can one striker to clear it and leave the golems on board, but
That's true, yes. Yeah, Coswit actually... No, that wasn't Coswit's style, was it? No. I think it was a reference.
No, it was River S style,
Yeah, yeah. So it was like the
so
perfect...
they wanted to dispel. They did want to dispel it.
yeah. They could just Wind Striker Golem into Dream Shaper here.
Yeah, I don't think you drew Shaper, but I mean you can just for the body more than the cards. But the second wish is pretty good. It makes it so Sentinel Reader doesn't vanish it, and does make it a threat. Second wish on Wind Striker is really fun.
Yeah, flying. Chases you all over the board. Ciphering cannot easily grapnel it either right now, so that part of air would be handy. Oh yeah, the SS team actually banned Blood of Air this round, so no access to that one.
But we see the second Sentinel Reader. Not choosing to remove the artifact, but choosing to surround them. I guess they're trying to keep their sand tile free.
This also gives the option for Coswit to play the once again and get a second artifact on the hidden face.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that necessary, but
But you can always hit face harder.
yeah, I feel like he's too far behind right now to be hitting face or trying to hit face.
Well, I think sometimes you just need to assert dominance.
I feel like you play the Dream Shaper here, so it would be a third sense part, but just for board presence and yeah.
You could have also just Blood of Earth and clean up like 3 minions from the board there.
Yeah, but then you don't develop anything of your own, so I feel like this is pretty solid. Obviously they can't grapnel Canopic because they can't BBS it, so they would need like a Blind Scorch or something. And they've got no Blood of Bears and they've 2 out of 3 Sandstorm Readers, so this Canopic is most likely going to stay, so.
And it's a pretty damn big body with 4/8, so. And also makes a lot of those grapnel plays a lot more complicated now.
So yeah, they decided to River F last turn decided to surround Siphron instead of clearing the artifact. And we see like Cosvid sort of taking advantage of that by being able to clear the Sentinel Reader in one hit, and then just placing a big body hard to remove on the tile.
Well, there's another big body on the board right now with the Swarm King making an appearance. Unfortunately, that's gonna get answered very straight away.
Yeah, pretty sure we're going to see a Central related here.
So next turn it could be just a player in the Lost in the Desert, so it looks like a referral is in a pretty big trouble right now.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you BBS the one that stays alive because if Riverance wants that damage you're preventing, he can get it easily no matter what with his Celebrant right now.
Mm.
So I feel like you stay on 9.
Oh, this Sworn Avenger pair is not gonna do too much this right now.
No, and this is going to be lethal for Godskin.
Yeah. A lot of Lost in the Desert, and that's a lot of damage. Fifth kind of big seals deal for SS. And I think we're ready to head off to the final game of this series, which I heard was pretty intense. Just need to take a moment to find the game from the So we have on the left side we have Alpha Centauri slash a disciple facing of Ryerson from the SS team and a disciple from the Duelyst disciples. Are seeing very interesting cards with the Munch and Xeroloth.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of aggro Cassiva, but with a bit of creep support with that Nethermelt.
Mm.
Unless it's full on creep, and we haven't seen anything else. But
The Watchful Sentinel lands and observes the board. Still fairly standard openings from both parts, so Lurking Fear in Lilith. That's a very interesting take on Lilith, I have to say.
Yeah.
Lurking Fears and Void Hunters, not the most typical affair from what I know from Abyssian list. Well, you have quite a few options here to try and clean up this board a bit.
Yeah, you can clear 3 minions if you want to.
The Rise and opt to keep the Fiend machine alive.
The Fiend Machine.
It's the latest metal band to come out from the Nether Realm.
Yeah, pretty sure we're going to see Blood Tear here out of range of the thing and Healing Mystique.
Also kind of interesting to see that Ryerson is back in those ephemeral shrouds because well, Falte, it used to be a very stable in the host list. It doesn't really see too much play nowadays.
Yeah, it's probably going to be useful with all this Dying Wish Alpha wants to play.
Interesting text choice. Reaper of the Nine Moons. I wonder if we're gonna be seeing some nether summonings or some other shenanigans coming out later on down the line.
I doubt it, but we'll see. Alpha is replying with, I like how Ryusun decided to backline his minions, then Alpha's just saying, alright, then I'm gonna backline mine, and we're gonna see who has the more threatening minions out of the two of us.
Well, that Reaper is definitely a big problem right now. But
Yeah, I think we're gonna see the big punish though for sure.
yeah. Well, that's unfortunate.
I guess it is, but it's not the end of the world. I think it does die too.
The creep underneath, yes.
I don't really feel like 4 mana Desolator is the card that Alpha wants to play the most, especially here. So.
Yeah, Disciple doesn't really seem to have answered that Fiend machine either. Kind of interested to see what kind of list Alpha is actually trying to play here. Well, there's the Whirlpool Reaver coming out. And that's definitely a big guy to challenge on the who has the biggest board contest.
Yeah.
The draw is still gonna get rid of the effect there. But Ryerson could just... No, he has to get rid of the celerity, so... Ryerson is just gonna play the klaxon on the bottom of the...
Yeah, just out of range of the Wraithling.
Yeah.
In case that damage matters.
Well, Ryerson definitely has a better, bigger board right now with the... but
Yeah, well, just on board here, Alpha can make a lot of Wraithlings and then kill all of Ryusen's minions except the Zeroloff, so
but Alpha has been very hesitant to cast any spells.
sure, and he still doesn't need to though. He can play a minion.
There's the demonic lure into pretty clean board and hits some damage to the face. So that was a pretty nice lure.
Yeah, although the Nethermeld is going to bring it back. You can punish and then ping a Wraithling and Nethermeld it back.
Mm.
Although this Reaper behind me. Once again, scary. But yeah, you seem to have a decent play here where you play a lot of cards in Ephemeral Shroud to deal with the Reaper, punish the Vorpal Reaver to kill that beast, ping a Wraithling, and get Klaxon back into position, and then
Yep.
just play the Fiend that you have in hand. And you're going to use 4 cards, but you do have Zeroloff on the board to try to replenish a bit your hand, and Desolator as well. So I feel like you definitely want to Nethermeld that Klaxon back into play. But
Looks
oh,
like that's...
they dispelled the
the effect.
Vorpal Reaver instead to try to play around a Chakram and stuff.
And that's just gonna gamble with the Reaper here. But
Oops, yeah, I didn't have enough mana for the play I wanted to do. I forgot ping costed 1 mana, so.
oh, Void Balls will be pretty handy. It's gonna be what's gonna come out of the Reaper here.
Another demonic lure. Sent it right back where it came from.
Well, now you could get rid of the fiend machine, but I'm not sure if you have the time to actually do that here.
Yeah, I feel like it's slow on both sides either way. Like it's not the fiends aren't gonna do too much
Yeah.
since they're sort of slow. And
Looks like Alpha is just gonna go face, which seems pretty decent here. Clean up that shroud. He's your herald for some life.
Mm.
And actually Ryerson has to deal with this board.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, the double void post will certainly keep him alive.
Um, yeah. There's okay. Do you go for lethal here? You clear Nekomata with Zeraloth, you play your entire hand, and you punish your Klaxon to get 6 chances to get a creep under Lilith for lethal.
I wonder if that's what they're gonna gamble here.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna punish the Nun Moons. But that would be hilarious.
Well, I think you should just take your chances. I mean, the odds
Yeah,
increase every spawn.
you could you could punish first and then punch if you feel the need, but I think they're gonna hold them. Yeah.
Would have been very interesting to hear what they had to say about on the chat there.
They decided against it. Yeah, I mean the odds are pretty low, so
Well, sometimes you just gotta believe in the heart of the creep.
it's 45, right? 2, 3, 6, 7. Yeah, so 6 chances out of 43 is quite low.
But you get to try 6 times.
Yeah, it's 6 chances out of 43.
But, now it's Alpha's turn to try and stay alive. Desolator will give him some lifeline.
Yeah, and body blocking as well.
That stolen Desolators were coming handy here.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't really seem like Ryerson actually has a way out of here. Like, he doesn't have any... He can get rid of one of those 4 attack minions, but he's still gonna get lethal to the face.
Yeah, and they can't sack their they can ping their Desolator for 4 damage, but then they can't sacrifice their Klaxon to try to get that 1 extra damage in. Yeah.
Well, I think they can just body block here and maybe buy a turn, but doesn't really seem like a... They're gonna be winning the game here.
Yeah, I don't even know if they can survive.
Oh, they being punished their klaxon.
Yeah, try to get multiple kills.
And they did get the spawn.
Yeah, except they didn't get one on under the Azure Hero, and
Yeah.
oh, I mean they were dead no matter what though.
I think
Pingy. Yeah, go ahead.
I think Alpha got the fiend from the Reaper of the Nine Moons.
Yeah, he was.
But yeah, that was a pretty interesting game. And
Right.
also the last game of this match. So I think Jewish Disciples managed to break SS's team's winning streak there, so they're 4-1.
Yeah, good job on them.
But we move on to the third match of this week 5, which is self-employed mercenaries facing off the Komodo Crusaders.
All right, I'm going to be back in just a second.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna explain the bans. So, self-employed mercenaries banned Plasma Storm, Blood of Air, Juxtaposition, Holy Immolation, and Komodo Crusaders banned Golem Metallurgist, the Ebon Ox sees a ban again, and Saurian Finality and Ritual Banishing. So Ritual Banishing got the first ban, and I think Saurian Finality has been banned a few times. But Komodo Crusaders certainly coming up with the more interesting bans. Not really sure why they will ban Ritual Banishing specifically, or the Saurian Finality, but we shall maybe see. I'm just gonna get the first match going while Poncho comes back soon.
All right, I'm back.
Alright. Welcome back.
Thanks. The ritual banishing ban is definitely interesting. I don't exactly know what they were trying to hit. I mean, I guess it hit Zorzul, Lilith in general, but it's quite surprising to me.
Yeah, it's banning as Abyssin doesn't really seem to be a very effective way, personally, I think. But I also kind of wondered about the Saurian Finality ban. Like, doesn't Magmar have better cards to ban than Saurian Finality?
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like Sorion Finalities lets you. Once you know it's banned, it lets you play a certain way
True.
that you can't if they can't have it. So it's not that.
We also see the Eponox getting banned once again. So, do you think that's a card that deserves more bans?
I think it's a nice card to ban, but mainly when you're banning Juxtaposition as well, because I feel like when you're banning Juxtaposition, you're leaving Ox as a good like open deck, and then 8 Gates Riva and Fax and Mantra, which aren't that great in my opinion. And so if you ban Juxtaposition and then you ban Ebanox, then you sort of force the opponent's hand into playing either It Gates, Mantra, or Artifacts, and then you just, know a bit more where they're. But at the same time, we've seen Draco Moriarty for self-employed mercenaries play a lot of Ebanox while he had the opportunity as Songhai. So that it might have been a directed ban because of self-employed mercenaries deck lists. So
True, Draco is pretty notorious for playing the same deck all over the place.
yeah.
Speaking of Draco Moriarty, the first game is gonna be VPC FBHC from facing of Draco Moriarty.
He's playing his nice and dying wish froth. I like that list. It's a fun. He added Juggernaut in though, which he didn't usually have, or I thought.
Yeah, I've actually never seen this list before. I'm loving the Dakota though.
It's Dagona into Cascading Rebirth so that you get Kragon out, and you can get Dagona out of N7 pretty early and try to get a Grandmaster Kragon really early in the game. So
Well, Draco just inner focused the Scroll Bandit on his back, so VPC doesn't actually have any proper play here except the Rage Binder.
yeah, I mean he could flash on 7 to try and get the his Dagona soon, or he could flash Lava Slasher to clear this Scroll Bandit. But then he's staying backwards. One thing I actually don't know, I think it does backstab, but if you fight against Scroll Bandit, does it backstab back or does it just attack normally back?
I think the backstab is always triggered when you attack it from behind.
Yeah, I think it is too. It's just a counterattack. I think it's just what's it called? The pig that's different, that has a different interaction with
Oh,
the
you mean
Lava
the
Slash.
Wild Tar?
Yeah, Weltar. And I guess Impervious Jacko too, but we never see that card, so. And you're not really gonna Lava Slasher that, so.
I think with the frenzy is that the frenzy only triggers if you're attacking.
No, it's not about the frenzy, it's about the attack buff.
The buff? Oh, right, yes.
Because it says whenever a minion enemy attacks, but Lava Slasher fights, so it doesn't actually buff the pig. What's its name?
Wild Tar.
Wildtar, thanks.
Yes. I only remember the card so well because I've lost so many games to it. Backstab does not work with fighting, says non-verber.
Oh, really? Huh.
I thought it did, but I don't play Mono, so I don't.
I would think it does too. I'm surprised about that.
I'm just having these flashbacks of these forum threads and Reddit threads, like they're saying like that fighting doesn't mean attacking and spaghetti code and like this very
No, but
flowcharts.
yeah. Wow, so if you Lava Slasher a minion, a backstab minion, you can backstab it and you won't get backstab?
What?
And I think that now Verber's saying that you can play a Lava Slasher in the back of a backstab minion and not get punished. But I'm surprised about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the double cascading rebirth.
Oh, Dakona.
Yeah, well, that's the only Dying Wish minion he had, so we're gonna see a Gragon here, which is hilarious.
That's dirty.
That's really dirty.
I mean, this is like when I was playing against Guildmore. There's even a fractal replication, so that's interesting, to say the least.
Well, I wonder if there's a sense of Paragon here to deal with this or
Well, I think
something.
Draco better have some answer, or it's gonna be pretty ugly next turn.
Yeah. Well, I feel like he does since he pinged it. I don't think he wants to just punch it with his face, but we'll see.
Well,
Oh, he is
wants to
going
have
to. Wow.
Duskborn.
Oof. And 2 Killing Edge. Wow.
All this bacon is gonna go the wrong way.
Oof. That's not a very good answer. But it is an answer, so Draco is still alive.
Barely. I mean, Macantor isn't banned this set, so he's dead to a Macantor. Straight off the board.
And there's the third Consuming Rebirth if they can find that Macantor. There's a 50-50 chance that they have lethal, but I don't know if they want to go for
I mean, 50-50 seems a lot better than 6 out of 48 or whatever it was.
6 out of 43, I think, for the Klaxon. Yeah, and I think he can go for it, and if it doesn't work, then he can still heal with...
Right spine.
Oh, they're going for it with that Lava Slasher. That's probably smarter. Oh, they got it. Okay. Yeah, going in with the 50-50 with that Lava Slasher is probably safer because then if it doesn't work, then you have your Lava Slasher can clear then a Primus Fist for you.
Yep. Very nice player from VPC.
Is it 33%? I thought there was only 2 6 drops. I thought there was a Macantor and a Dreadnought. Ah, Armada, classic. I forget Armada, especially when it's flashed on turn 2 or 3.
I need to consult this. Wait just a moment.
All right. So we have classic aggro Kasuba here with Darkseid.
So this is Hayok from Self-Employed Mercenaries facing off the Mighty Balloon from Komodo Crusaders. And to be fair, if my opponent is playing Cascading Reapers and those kind of things, I'm not gonna be like confident at all at any point of this match anymore.
good manners coming out of how they heal their enemy.
And just only good manners. Traditional duelist greeting. A very old school opening here from both sides.
Yeah, definitely. Not a great play for how. I guess you prime his fist, then on the tile blocking the lion, making it have to move 2 spaces to go get a tile. Just equip the spectral blade. Yeah, exactly. And then you need to leave your healing mystic there. Yep.
It has the betrayal, so the mighty balloon has to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, typically Vanar doesn't have that many big attack minions.
I'm just thinking if this is some kind of bond list that might backfire.
Yeah, well, if they have a bond list, then they usually want to play Ironcliff, which doesn't have a lot of attack, and Latigris, and then usually once they bond, that's because they have lethal and not because.
True.
I think we're gonna see a great scorn here. No,
Blood Tier Alchemist into...
Blood Tier Alchemist, I think.
Spelljammer.
No, Spelljammer and just hit it with their face. Okay.
Well, it seems fairly decent board state for the mighty balloon. Hulk doesn't really seem to have too much going on.
Yeah, they really can't play any minions here, so it's quite unfortunate.
Desolator into pinged on the blood tier.
Yeah, which is probably correct, considering you don't have much to play.
Sunford's Lancer out of Argeo. That's an interesting choice. Stoic Rooster pointing out that this is a Kieran list. He likes healing. But Hike still doesn't really... He has some minions to play now, but the Mighty Balloon's board is fairly intimidating.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lure into a grasp here, but it's not even going to be enough to clear that Azure Heart. So
Quite unfortunate to have all your healing at the start.
yeah, they decided not to play the healing mystic, which I feel is interesting. I think I would have played it just for the body. You do have the void pulse if you definitely need the, as well as the desolator. So
Yeah, I think not
I
playing
feel like
the Mystic is a mistake there.
yeah, especially that you're a Nagger deck. So, and I like how Balloon is just taking advantage of that spectral blade to get more heal procs for buff his general.
Sanford's Lancer putting in some work. Oh, you cannot even play the... Yeah.
Well, you can play it and pass on the healing, but
Yeah.
then they should have really played it on the previous turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, this definitely is looking very painful for Hauk. Just typical aggro decks against a bunch of healing. This never feels good.
Yeah, that Sanford's Lancer is gonna put a bit of a halt on Hawk's plan right now. And we see more healing.
Just more and more healing.
Yeah.
Getting more and more swole, yeah.
6 attack is a bit difficult to deal with.
Half of the cards just continues to buff RG on here.
Well, you could double grasp something if you could kill something, but it doesn't look like you can actually kill anything.
No, you can't kill anything because of that Silver Guard brew.
So it looks like Hawk is just playing all the cards and throwing the towel in, so to speak.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fairly convincing victory from the Mighty Balloon, I have to say. Also, I think like a Hawk got a bit very unlucky on the start there with his cards.
Yeah, he didn't really have a nice turn 2 play, and then Mighty Balloon just really took advantage of Hauk's list. You know, taking advantage of him trying to burn and heal himself. By playing those, unfortunately, you know, just having a ton of healing to slow down the aggro matchup.
Yeah. I have to say it's interesting to see the Sunward Lancer of the R2, and it definitely paid off this game. So we can head off to the final game of this series. This is gonna be this game, yes. So we have Starkly on the left and Draco Moriarty playing Vanar on the right.
We see a nice Ox list by Starkly, and I love to see those Celestial Phantoms.
Is it because they're green?
No, it's because I really like that card.
Yeah, it seems like a super strong card when you first see it. Like 1/5, it kill everything basically on Songhai.
Yeah, but it's really only useful for control decks, which there really only is Ox as a control deck in the Songhai faction. So
hello Corswith and everybody else who has joined. Starkly milled the EMP, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card to mill for Draco. Depending on what list he's playing, I guess Blazehound sort of indicates aggro Fae, but
True.
which CMP is less useful, but still. Dispel against Vanar is usually something you like to see.
Very true, very true. Let's see if he's gonna play the Celestial Phantom there or just Scorn.
Yeah, I feel like you do play it in the back. I'm unsure why they're. Oh, okay, they're gonna body block like that. I was unsure why they were going face with the blood tier. I thought they would have pinged the Blazehound
Yep.
and play Celestial Phantom defensively, but instead they're giving away, just saying, sure, just take a slow turn and avoid taking 4 damage to the face.
And there's the second Blazehound coming out. More cards for Stark.
Yeah, not on a full hand this time, which is helpful. We see the chromatic cold on the Celestial Phantom. I feel like that's not amazing for Draco Moriarty. I'm pretty sure we're just going to see a Dancing Blades here to clear that second Blazehound.
Yeah. Not sure what kind of list Draco is playing, but seems pretty awkward for him right now. I mean, 420
I don't
bodies
know.
are still pretty decent, but
I think it looks like an aggro failist with Chromatic Golden as his sort of tech card.
mm.
But yeah, we're definitely going to see the Dancing Blades, and I would probably play it on the top one. Yep. Use that 3 damage, and you don't really mind taking just 6 damage here next turn.
Or 8.
Or 8 with BBS, but BBS is it's going to happen anyways.
Yeah.
You do avoid 6 damage by killing this one, but then you're giving your Dancing Blades away. So I don't know. I would have gone for the top one for sure. And eaten that damage up with my face.
I will just play it on the bottom one, just save 6 health. But also, I think the Dancing Blade is still just as active on the bottom row as it is on the top one.
Yeah, well, on the top one, it's out of reach of the second Blazehound, which makes it survive.
True.
And then you do have Blink to bring it into play, so.
But I'm just maybe thinking that if I'm playing Eponox, I'm just gonna win anyway on the if I survive. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Here we have a pretty clear on the everything with the Scorn. And I'm playing to body block. I think the Stark is pretty.
Yeah, now he's
good.
Yeah, he's in a commanding position. Now he has the Bone Reaper too, which is going to be really helpful. And the MP is gonna clear this White Aspen and everything that leaves behind, so he's not too worried about this from Draco.
Draco is already down to 12. So this Bone Reaper is gonna be pretty helpful showstopper here.
I feel like you can play Bone Reaper nearby Fae, because you want to play EMP most likely next turn anyways, so you really don't care that if she can make another roll. Yeah, everything's going smoothly now for Starkly. He has all his big threats. He has Mage Horn too for later on to prevent burn damage from Fae. And
Dakano if he really needs it, just in case.
oof. All right, some threats coming out of Draco here.
EMP to body block. Into
Yeah,
Equinox.
no, this is it's definitely the play, and you keep the Battle Pando, I feel, because you can play it since you have a lot of cards right now. You can play it alongside something else alongside Magehorn on the following turn, or I don't know, try to play 2 minions at once and at some point in the game.
Yeah, and the effect is still pretty nice against the walls and stuff. It's like they're discussing where to place the Equinox.
Yeah, it's like a risk reward situation where body blocking the Fae is higher risk because then you can eat up 4 damage from Blaze Sound easily with just a blood tear. But higher reward because if you do manage to, if all your body blockers survive, then you create a lot more space for yourself and you avoid all the damage too. So, but they went for the lower risk play, not playing into Warbird either, and just preventing that 4 damage from the Blaze Hound to connect into your face.
There's the Hellstone Prison into 8 damage to the face.
Steph, yeah, Dagona can be used to eat your own minion, and I've tested that the other day. When it dies, it actually summons the minion it had devoured. So if you swallow your own minion as Ox, and post-Ox your Dagona dies, then it will summon that minion and deal that damage.
Draco was one of lethal there with the Flame Blood Crypto combo. Just one turn too early.
But the Dagona lethal coming from Starkly.
Boom.
Wow.
That was a close one.
Definitely.
Some interesting games this week, or the last week. Which week? Week 5. But
Yep.
we still have one match to go. Are you still alive?
I'm very alive and well.
Good. None of us is. But the last match is gonna be Gebroeres Ankers facing off the Rock and Rocks, the undefeated champion. Barely scathed.
Yeah, with their old school disco logo. Or not disco, but looks like an old diner skating rink thing. logo. I don't know how to explain it.
It looks like some kind of graphic from like 90s really bad production game where they
Yeah,
drew
well,
everything with
I'd
MS
say the
Paint.
80s. I'd say the 80s rather than the 90s,
They
even
didn't have
further back.
they didn't have that many colors in the 80s. Or if they did, I don't think Rock and Rocks could afford them. There probably are a few circles off the line. I'm not very good with this whole streaming thing. But anyway, Kepler's Anchors band Tectonic Spikes, Holy Immolation, Luminous Shores, Sensor Reader, and Rock and Rock's band Sensor Reader, and Opus Sage, EMP, and Macanthurs gets a ban once again.
Yeah, I'm curious to know why they banned Tectonic Spikes specifically, and then also Luminous Charge. But I know anchors have been banning Malicious Wisp, so they feel like Vanar is needs to be nerfed down a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting because Vanar hasn't been winning too many games.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then Tectonic Spikes is interesting to me. I feel like you could ban like Flash Reincarnation instead and um, hit Starhorn as hard or harder even.
Do you think it's just one of those like the Saurian Finality ban that it just lets you play around some burn, or that you don't have to worry about the Tectonic Spikes just popping out somewhere randomly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to check the sheet again. I think it's this one, yes. So first off we have the birds facing off pupils. Birds. So Birds has been winning all the games for Rock and Rocks with Spammer Noob, so
Yeah, I mean, in the recent, they've been sharing the load a bit more. I think Spammer split once or twice, and then Stoic Rooster also did a number.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how it fares. But there's the Ragnora coming out from Birds, so
Yeah, it definitely seems like a normal eggs list with, you know,
eggs.
Ragebinder, eggs, and Mentor.
Meanwhile, Pupils is playing Riva.
Yeah, it's just standard eggs that Stoic Rooster says without Zoetic Charm, obviously. Oh, well, I guess Kron is kind of special in eggs. It's not every day that you see it.
Kron is still a very solid card in any list, I think, so.
Yeah, it definitely is a very solid card, yeah.
Big body to slam in your face. For some reason, no columns to proc the bond. Well, unfortunately, Kron is not a golem.
So crypto definitely makes you feel like this could be a kid's list because it's not usually seen in Aggro Riva, which are the two main decks for Riva at the moment.
See Bloodbound Mentor into the Seeker, so Pubis has a lot of seeking going on. I have this like suspicion that there's gonna be like Seeker squads coming out soon with all the Seeker. Well, the
That's probably
Conquest-
the most unfortunate spawn that they could have gotten.
Yeah.
The rush dude and the only spot that he can't connect if you want that 2 damage.
Well, it looks like they just want to set up their own backline here. But
Yeah, they're just kind of saying, sure, you can play Hearts if you want to, but we're not going to play X this yet for you to take advantage of those Hearts. Just going to play bigger stuff that you need to deal with.
Stoic Rooster is saying they actually beat a healer list with this list. I'm not sure if Healer is actually doing that well in this tournament.
No, with that cleric, it isn't doing tremendous.
Well, there's all the Heart Seekers on the board.
Yep.
But
I'll be back in just a second.
That does make the playing the X a bit difficult, because they're just gonna get pinged down. But Birds can actually just clean up the Heart Seekers here if he desires to. Yeah, and the Mentor can be launched, that's true as well. Birds is gonna play Egg behind himself, hit the Seeker, probably kill the Mentor here. Or just clean up the Seekers, yes.
PBS is down, so I guess they didn't want to target the mentor just yet. They'll have him counter next turn possibly to target it. So.
Wow, that's still like
So yeah, I guess they decided to target the minions that could do something now rather than later.
Well, it does make sure the X stays alive. So there's that.
Yeah.
But using 2 lava lances on the Seekers kind of feels bad. To me anyway.
Yeah, it definitely does a bit. Especially that there's an answer for this egg, so.
Well, there's an answer to the egg with the Kotatsu, so of course it points out egg alive versus river. Probably not happening. There's the Crescent Sphere into Thunderbomb, so this also cleans up the board quite a bit for PvPs.
Yeah.
Birds doesn't really have a good Macantor here, but he could get rid of the Mentor if he wants to. But that seems a bit of a waste.
Yeah, it definitely is a waste in my opinion. And then
You
I
can
guess you
play.
just play Spelljammer or Erratic Raptor.
Yeah. Stoic said he wanted to trade off the spare here with the Macantor. Which way do you go? Do you want to get rid of the spear?
Kinda, but I don't really want to get down to 12 HP either.
Yeah, I've noticed like there's always some people just don't care about the HP a lot, and some people are like way more mindful about it. They play around more things in the future. But Burst decides to play the Erratic Raptor instead of the Spelljammer.
Yeah, it's kind of risky to play the Spelljammer maybe because you're not trying to close out the game just yet, and then you're giving a pretty fast list some more cards. So.
And you have the activator on the Erratic Raptor, so if it stays on the board, so that's potential source of damage.
But to come back, I don't think that leaving the Bloodbound Mentor up was a mistake by Rock's. Like, it's not going to do that much either this turn. It didn't do anything last turn, and it's not. You can play Heartseekers here. You're going to be able to Mecantor them away, I feel so.
Oh, this the Geomancer coming out for all the Phoenix fighters in the world. It does put a bit of a clock for Beards here. But he also has a kind of bit of damage coming out from his own side.
Yeah, you got to be mindful about playing into Thunderbomb here, though. If Pertz punches with everything, then he's going to expose himself to Thunderbomb pretty bad.
Yep. I would imagine at least something is gonna hit face.
Yeah, for sure. We see both hitting face, which unless he keeps his Raptor right there.
I'm not sure if you can skip like a 5 damage on the face hit there, so...
Well, I think I would have skipped the 3 damage on the face. I'm not sure. Because at 8 HP, you don't really have a way to close this out, especially with one Mecantor down. You can Mecantor next turn, but then it's still 4 damage that needs to go face. And I guess you can egg hatch for a bit of damage on 9 mana.
Stoic said that he told Purse to hit with the 5/5 to play around the painter.
Interesting. And yeah, that's this cause it says saying this egg baiting Riva to come in closer so that they can close up the game, which is a neat option because they probably think that the egg won't stick either way.
Well, that's some next level meta gaming. We'll see if the PvPs falls for it.
Yeah, I mean they still can't close out the game in this turn, so and they don't. They just back off and play Phoenix Fire.
PvP.
Wow.
Wow.
And yeah, Pertz is dead to an 8 gates next turn. The Boobies definitely has 3 Phoenix Fires. He has 1 in hand, 1 on BBS, and 1 more in hand with Bloodbound Mentor on the board. So all they need is to, I guess they can clear the Bloodbound Mentor, but then there's still a good chance of Boobies having 8 gates plus Phoenix Fire already in hand too. It's a booby trap. Nice one, number.
But yeah, it doesn't really seem like Pierce has.
Yeah, and using a Mechanter here to just try to survive means that you won't have it, which
Yeah.
you won't have it to push face damage, which is
Also, you're
unfortunate.
not pushing face damage anyway because you're so far away. So even if Burst doesn't.
Yeah, well, with egg combo, you can reach quite far.
True. But you still need a bit more than just a Reaper egg to get there.
Well, you have the hatch, and then you the greater fortitude. But yeah, this is lethal.
Yeah, that Bloodbound Mentor came lit to the scene.
Yeah, if it wasn't there, it might have not have been lethal this turn. But I feel like in the long run, with being this far away, unless there was a combo, then Boobies would have won this. So it's hard to say if the Heartseeker would have done more than the Bloodbound Mentor did, which technically did. I mean, 3. It did 8 damage, but
Yeah. Still a very, very interesting game to see, and I don't think X have won too many games this tournament. So
yeah, Sibin, we finished your games already, so
yeah, this is the last 2 games we're casting. So
yeah.
alright, so the next game is gonna be Stoic Rooster versus Death's Advocate. And both playing 1 hour, because this is the week of the 1 hour, apparently. And nobody has those Christmas skins, so. For sure.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, there's the, that bastard with the thing, so. At least something. But yeah, Stoic Rooster is the captain of the Rock and Rocks, and Death's Advocate is on the Emperor's Anchor side. This advocate is making grab for both of those mana tiles here.
Yeah, I feel like he could have played the one of them in the center
Yeah.
to be able to grab all 3 mana tiles rather than just 2.
There's the Sworn Avenger coming out from a Stoic, as usual. That advocate does have gravity well here, or he could just like Cryogenus sit out. So he doesn't have to worry about it on the long run. He could also just gravity well into Cryogenesis here, I guess.
Not opting to go for the gravity well, which
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would have done the same, because now this leaves kind of the mana tile open for Stoic here.
yeah, I don't think leaving the mana tile open is necessarily bad.
But your board isn't very strong either, so...
No.
Stoic says they showed Scorn before hand, so that might explain the hesitance.
Yeah, Scorn would definitely clean up gravity well. Plus 2 1 health minions.
A lot of discussion going on the Rock'n'S side. Seems like it's a pretty standard affair to play into the PPS Warbird, the Chromatic Cold, to get rid of the that little bastard.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna see the militia switch into Warbird now.
Or Bloodbound Mentor.
No, they're going for the Bloodbound. Interesting.
Just bank on those Warbirds.
I was sure they were going to play the militia switch tile. 2 body block for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you wouldn't play the Warbird Malicious Wisp there. Would be a great time, because they probably don't have a very clean answer for it. since they're talking about names on the chat, like why are you called PonchoMango? Where does that come from?
Because ponchos are cool and mangoes are cool.
So it's like two cool things together to be.
Yeah, to get a cool name.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, here we see Spelljammer into Warbird. I know Warbird. Well, the lack of Warbird probably suggests they wanna use it for something else, so... Like Heart Sister.
Yeah, our Bloodbound Mentor of their own.
Yeah. But we see the Gravity Walls coming out into... Crack... That card.
Cryonic potential. I'm curious about the gravity placement that they're playing around, like Spelljammer being punch a 0/1. I don't know exactly what that does for them.
Maybe they just wanted to cover more ground there. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Well, there's the Blistering Score. Get rid of some of the walls, but not that big guy. But the Heart Sister does get rid of the 6/6 wall.
Yeah, it gets it away to punch face and.
Well, Neted's Advocate has choices of his own. He could Heart Sister to get a very nice Warbird there. Doesn't really have a nice aspect of the mountains there, but could also consider the Luvalon charges, I would imagine.
I mean, they could consider going to Heart Sister their own back in, which is what I thought they would do. And then I guess they're going to cryogenesis this corn. Or just warp. Okay.
Just push damage to the face.
Seems reasonable, yeah.
I mean, that Scorn doesn't really seem to be doing too much right now, so... I was thinking of like just Luminous charges to surround the enemy general, but I think this is a bit more effective play overall.
Yeah, bringing back your big wall is pretty good.
Yep. I have to say, like, Heart Sister is still like one of my favorite cards in the game, just because it's has so much utility on the board.
Yeah, it's a great card.
This is a nice scorn though. You're able to clear to trade your board now.
get rid of the Bloodbound here with the Heart Sister. And the second Heart Sister cleans up the wall, so the sisters are doing their best for Stoic Rooster, but still 6 health.
Yeah, 6 health, but
That's gonna
Alright.
be the Snow Chaser into Aspect. Get the 5/5 boy out.
yeah, I'll probably back off at this point.
Yeah. I'd probably be replacing the cryo here, personally, or the charges.
Yeah, the Cryogenesis can answer the Sworn Avenger, though, if Stoic wants to play that again, but
But I would just be trying to find some damage to the hand.
yeah, I don't think they have that much damage, though, to be able to define it reliably, so.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they only need one more Crypto or one more Mentor, so I could have looked for it.
So there's the Crypto to Bloodtear Alchemist to Warbird to Bloodbound Mentor. 2 more Warbirds. So it looks like it's just gonna be a cold standoff between these two.
But yeah, good thing they kept the Cryogenesis for this Bloodbound Mentor.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the gravity wall to lock the Fae in place. Kinda curious.
Yeah, but I feel like they didn't leave a spot open for their mountain. Like, they can aspect of the mountain their own gravity well to make that spot open, but
Yeah, I was like thinking why wouldn't they, like, leave that spot open, but maybe it was just a misclick.
well, no, you do have the aspect of the mountain to remove your gravity well, so.
But does it mountain get activated straight away?
Well, yeah, because the wall is active, so you can move it.
Oh.
Like, because walls are still active once the turn after you play them. They just can't move, so. And they can't attack because they have 0 attack. But if you give them attack, then they can attack.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Well, there's the Flame Blood Warlock coming out into Hellstone, into
Some prison into a tie with the
Flame Blood. Well, if you cannot win, you better take them with you. So, with that, we are gonna move on to the rematch. I think I just went past there. So we have Stoic Rooster versus Death's Advocate. Match 2 for the Team Wars Championships of the Week 5.
Yeah, if they punched him though down for 2 turns ago when they first played the aspect of the mountain, then there could have been another source of burn from Stoic Rooster other than the Flameblow Warlock, which would have just won the game possibly. So.
Well, we see the cryptographer coming out, and it's probably gonna get answered here with the crypto, something Hard Sister. Or not.
Well, probably the Gravity Well Horse Sister. But I'm not sure why they're taking that tile. Maybe they're gonna play the okay. I was gonna say maybe they're gonna play the Snow Chaser as well as the Horse Sister, but they're not going to play the Horse Sister. They're going to
Just go for the big damage.
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of fair because it's turn 2, so unless they have like Hailstone on the spot, so not the easiest card to answer. That looks like a Heart's Blood here. And it looks like a Hail's Chromatic Cold, yes.
Oh, Hard Punish.
Perfect answer. I need to find the Glacial Fissure.
Yeah, well, the crypto is gonna be pretty good though. I wouldn't replace the Snow Chaser. Wow, I thought they would play crypto BBS Snow Chaser and clear the board. But I guess they're thinking that Faye's gonna be on their side, and they're not going to be able to take advantage of the Snow Chaser.
Yep. Well, if you're taking 3 Chromatic Colds just to deal with grinding potential walls, well, I'll tip my purse to
Well,
you.
that's a disadvantage of running the same decks every week. Your opponent can take advantage of that knowledge and what seems like a really strong play against aggro Fae usually in making a big wall because don't usually tend to carry much remove
True, true.
Hellstone Prison, then
Is it the just the Primus Fist on the empty board to get bodies on the floor?
yeah, not a great play from Stoic. And keeping the Warbird again in hand, which is probably correct.
Well, that's Advocate once again has some options here. We're gonna see the Bloodbound Mentor into Warbird, I guess.
I think I would play the Luminous Charge here. Especially with the Enfeeble in hand.
Hmm. I don't know, my brain seems to be stuck on Hard Sister mode, so I'm just thinking Hard Sister into Warbird every single turn.
Well, you gotta think that Death's Advocate's not the aggressor in this matchup, right? He doesn't have nearly as much burn as Stoic does. So if he takes the burn route, then he's most likely gonna lose that battle.
But still, if you go to face, well, you're still probably gonna lose the game, but at least you went to face. Looks like there's gonna be a Dispel coming out there, or Blood Tear. Ouch. So Stoic is just gonna focus on cleaning up the walls there. Probably afraid of the Cryonic potential or some other shenanigans.
I feel like Enfeeble here is not a bad play. You can Enfeeble, kill the Blood Tear, and kill the Spelljammer so that the aggro Fade doesn't have much. And Warbird, because it refreshes next turn. And then next turn you'll be able to Hearth Sister one of your 1/1 Luminous Charges into make an AoE damage.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like a pretty decent plan. It looks like it's just gonna be a Hard Sister or something.
Hearth Sister Jammer away, I guess, but then
Doesn't really seem like a winning play, but they could use the cards, I guess.
yeah, they're sort of wanting cards, but at the same time they have Bloodbound Mentor. I don't feel like they necessarily need the cards, and this you like Stoic Rooster could easily just Hearth Sister it back in after later on down the line. So
Yeah.
I feel like they're going, as I said earlier, I feel like now they're going for the burn route, but they're never gonna compete with Stoic's burn. So I feel like this is definitely incorrect. But
Yeah, I think like the Enfeeble is probably would have been a safer bet on the long run here. Now this is gonna fuel Stoic's hand as well as their own.
yeah, definitely. I feel like you need to realize that Stoic is definitely the aggressor in this matchup. He showed it to you last game with, burning himself down with Flameblade Warlocks, and now you're just, keeping his Spelljammer alive. Well, it just feels dangerous to me.
But with all that said, Stoic is still gonna pinned down between the enemy forces, so if he's not careful, he's gonna take a lot of damage to the face once again.
Yeah, he is.
Well, that's the Heart Sister into Warbird, I guess.
That may be Warbird Punch, but
Cryptographer into
Crypto.
Warbird. This feels like one of those 1 hour matches where you have to keep constantly counting how many twos do you have to survive if they have this and this many spells. So
Mm.
this is why I never did very well against 1 hour, because you had to count. Oh, they're thinking on using the Ursa Plum to get rid of the Spelljammer, I guess.
Yeah, probably the Spelljammer. But like it seems kind of late. Like now they get rid of the Spelljammer. I don't know why they're doing this though, because they could just use the Cryogenesis.
Oh, they just wanted to have bodies on the...
Yeah, well, the Ursapalm is gonna just die to the Spelljammer. I guess maybe they're gonna provoke the. No.
I think that's a mistake then. They could just play the
Yeah,
diagonal.
if they would have played the Gravity Well on top of the Ursapalm, then you could have justified playing the Ursapalm. But now it just like the Jammer just trades freely into it, which is really weird to me.
Yeah. And we could have just kept the Ursa Plump in that case and just use it for damage next turn.
Yeah.
No, I think this is just a case of like overthinking too much.
Yeah, or maybe you do Ursapalm the Luminous Charge so you can use that minion that's been sitting there, but you move it to the right so that the Jammer can't reach it, and you leave the Blood Tier Alchemist up. I don't know. Either way, this felt wrong to me.
This
To
might have
just
also been a misclick from them, because I think the Ursa Plump only moved 1.
no, it needed to only move 1 in order to be able to attack the Blood Tier.
Ah, right, yeah. But maybe they wanted to put it 2 to the back so the Spelljammer doesn't hit it.
Yeah, we see Stoic not using that though, but they do have the scoring to take advantage of it.
Well, there's the Cryo's gonna clean up the big 2 threats, but that's basically past
Yeah,
turn.
that's their whole turn. Yeah, and they Stoic still have their Jammer to threaten damage and card replenishment.
And that's Advocate's hand is looking very grim. Not much action going on there. Well, at least there's the Christmas cheer coming out from this guy. And we see the Bloodbound Mentor in the Warbird into Crypto.
Into more war.
It seems like the happy the theme of today, just warbirds all over. Well, Stead's Advocate can clean up this board, but can he survive next turn with all those warbirds coming out?
Yeah, well, he's gonna ping the Bloodbound Mentor for sure. I don't know if he's gonna clear the board or stay away from the Spelljammer. Like, yeah, he's staying away from the Spelljammer.
Stoic saying that Boronian was telling him to position around aspect of mountain there, but I'm not sure even if he had aspected the board, it wouldn't matter too much.
Yeah, it would have mattered, I think. And it also prevented just Faye from getting in closer to them, which was pretty good.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna see Warbird. Oh yeah, they had 2 Warbirds in hand.
Into a warbird.
Into Warbird, into Flameblood Warlock or Crypto?
Oh.
Flameblood Warlock. Alright.
I was kinda hoping to see the last warbird. But yeah, Stoic Rooster takes win there. And that's also the last game of this week. How are you feeling?
Tired? I don't know how you do this every week, but major congrats to you.
Yeah. Well, anything for this Duelyst game and community and stuff. But yeah, that's were pretty interesting games this week. I think we are seeing a lot more interesting decks coming out from people, and that's very refreshing to see.
Yeah, we saw the rise of Vanar this week for sure.
Yeah. What do you have anything else to say, or do you have anything to plug or any shade to throw out to the other teams?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, thanks a lot for coming.
Other than we're facing Stoic Rooster in 2 weeks, and if they don't lose by then we're gonna give their first loss.
Them's the Whiting Birds. Yeah, so thanks a lot for coming to join this week, and
yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
Absolutely, it was a great pleasure.